Thinking about adding a mid-length surfboard to your quiver? Well, here are 8 more options for every level of surfer. Hi guys, Chris from Stoked for Travel here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before I get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any video goodness. Now today we're revisiting one of the most popular topics on the channel, mid-length surfboards. Now my original mid-length surfboard guide was hugely popular, and since that's come out, a lot of people have been recommending other boards for me to test out and a few others to add to the list as well. If you haven't already watched the original mid-length surfboard guide, make sure you check out the links in the description below. It gives a full rundown of what a mid-length is, a bit more in-depth guide, and of course 8 awesome options for you to choose from. But today, this follow-up, we're going to be giving you 8 more awesome mid-length surfboard options to choose from. Whether you're a complete beginner or an advanced surfer, these are all epic options to consider. So yeah, let's jump straight in. First on the list is one of my personal favorites, and that's the McTavish Rincon. Now, the Rincon is actually the OG of mid-lengths, invented right back in 1968 by Bob McTavish and named after the break he was designing it for. Now, this board has heaps of flow, and it's a single fin setup, so it's great for longboarders looking to drop down onto a mid-length but still keep those single fin vibes. Now, I started out by testing out a 710 version of it, and I was hugely impressed by how versatile the board was, especially when things got a little bit bigger and a little bit punchier. It really held its own. In fact, I loved it so much, I then custom ordered a 7.0 option just because I wanted a little bit more maneuverability and a little bit more hold when it got a little bit hollower, almost like a bit of a single fin step up. Absolutely loving it in the 7.0 model. It's super fast, fun, and it's just great fun to surf. So yeah, if you're looking for a single fin mid-length, the McTavish Rincon is definitely one to look at. Next up is the Broken Arrow from Cape Collective. Now this is the follow-on from the Midway, which I recommended in my first video. The Broken Arrow is my personal step up for when the points around here get pumping. So spots like the Pass, Lennox Point, this board is absolutely magic. I ride mine as a 7.2. It's got a really long straight rail line which carries heaps of speed through the sections, and that twin fin setup makes it so much fun. Even on my backhand, the twin fin goes really well. It feels very quad-like on the bottom turn and a lot of drive, but as soon as you put it on rail, you get all that twin fin release. But yeah, if you're looking for a really fast, fun, flowy twin fin mid-length, then the Broken Arrow is a great one to check out. Okay, so the next on my list is a bit of a 2-for-1. I made a bit of a mistake in my original mid-length guide. I was meant to be recommending the Mid 6 by Harley Ingleby, but ended up chatting a lot about the Moe and used a picture of the Moe. It was very confusing. I just wasn't on the ball when I put that video together, so I apologize for that. So this 2-for-1, I'm going to be recommending both the Harley Ingleby Mid 6 and also the Harley Ingleby Moe as mid-lengths for a huge variety of surfers. Now, if you're at the lower end of the spectrum, kind of more beginner intermediate, then the Moe's going to be a really good choice. It's a little bit flower rocker, a little bit more forgiving, and it's definitely got a little bit more chunk running through it, which is going to be great for those smaller days. If, however, you're a more experienced surfer looking for a high performance mid-length, then the Mid 6 is definitely the way to go. This is the one with the quad fin setup, it's got the channels running through the back, and this thing absolutely flies. So depending on which kind of end of the spectrum you're on, Moe for kind of a bit more forgiving, but more cruisy style, Mid 6 for definitely high performance, bigger waves, can handle a huge variety of conditions right through to really hollow barrels. So yeah, that's the Harley Ingleby Moe and also the Harley Ingleby Mid 6. Next up is the Ultra Tracker by Christenson Surfboards. Now, much like the McTavish Rincon, this is a single fin mid-length, but can also handle some serious high performance as well. I originally tested out the 6.6, which went really well. I was very impressed with the speed, the flow, and also the control this board had in bigger, hollower conditions. However, I would say the 6.6, especially for me at 185 centimeters and about 82 kilos, was a little bit on the short side and didn't give me quite the mid-length feels that I wanted. So I definitely recommend the 7.0 and upwards in that if you really want that full mid-length performance and paddle power. But yeah, if you're looking for an awesome single fin mid-length, the Christenson Ultra Tracker with those knifey rails around the back will give you all the control and speed you want. Now, another epic option if you're looking for a high performance mid-length is the Mid Strength by Chili, and this is one of the most popular mid-length options out there at the moment because of the genre it sits in. This high performance mid-length can handle some super punchy conditions, whether that's beat break, points, reefs, and more. It's definitely got all the control, style, and speed you could want. It's got a little bit more rocker than a lot of the mid-lengths on the list, so if you want a little bit of extra paddle power, go for those slightly bigger models. But if you go into the shorter end of the spectrum, there's got lots of performance packed in there as well, especially with that versatile 5-fin setup. If you're looking to go up from a short board into a mid-length, the shorter options will still give you that glide and extra paddle power. Or if you're looking to drop down, or you're a little bit bigger or heavier, those bigger ends of the spectrum in the model sizing will still give you lots of paddle power, but it still packs in heaps of performance as well. But yeah, that's the chilly mid-strength model. Next on the list is the Ova by Skindog Surfboards, and this is one of the mid-lengths I've been testing out most recently, and I'm absolutely loving it. I was very surprised at how well the Ova goes, and it's one of those boards that just handles a huge variety of conditions and caught me a little bit off guard. Now, I've been riding mine as a 2+1 with the Skindog side bites and single fin setup, and love the fact it feels very longboard-esque, a lot of nice trim, a lot of speed, but then as soon as you put it on rail, flicks around really nicely, and there's a lot of performance packed in there as well. When things get a bit bigger and hollower, you can also strap in a quad fin setup. I personally haven't tested that out, but it looks like it will absolutely fly and give you a lot more control on those bigger, punchier days. For me though, the Ova is just great at everything. From kind of thigh high at beach breaks right to overhead at the point, this board handles everything I've thrown at it, and is a great option for those looking for a really all-round board that can cover a lot of bases. For me, I feel like it's going to be anywhere from low end intermediate right through to advanced who are going to love this board. And obviously that fin configuration options from either a 2+1 or a single fin right through to a quad give a lot of versatility, and you can really dial it into your style of surfing and also the waves that you're looking to surf as well. That's the Ova by Skindog Surfboards. Next up on the list is the Pyzel Mid-Length Crisis. Now this board from John Pyzel covers a huge variety of bases, much like a lot of the mid-lengths on this guy, but it's fast, fun and loose. Coming in a 2+1 setup, you can ride it as a single fin, or you can strap in those side bites and ride it as a 2+1 if you want that little bit more control, which is great for those bigger, hollower days. This board covers a huge variety of wave conditions, from kind of small and mushy right through to double overhead, and is going to suit a huge variety of skill levels as well. So whether you're kind of like low end intermediate right through to advanced surfer, the Pyzel Mid-Length Crisis is another epic option. Now the final board on my mid-length surfboard guide is the DHD Interceptor, and this is one of the newest models to hit the market. Coming from the caliber of DHD, it's got heaps of performance as you would expect, with team riders such as Mick Fanning, Steph Gilmore and Ethan Ewing absolutely frothing on this model. Tested at spots like D-Bar and Snapper, this board's got a lot of paddle power, but a lot of performance through that back end as well, with a 5-fin setup. So go for the thruster if you want a bit more top to bottom surfing, or that quad setup if you want that a lot of speed, drive and hold when things get a little bit hollower. It's definitely at the more performance end of the spectrum with a little bit more lift in the nose, but it's still got enough width and stability that it's going to handle conditions in the smaller end of the spectrum too. And that's the DHD Interceptor. And there you have it guys, that's 8 awesome epic mid-length surfboards to consider adding to your quiver. Now if you have any questions about any of the boards or any other recommendations, make sure you add them in the comments below. And of course check out the rest of the YouTube channel for more reviews, advice and more. That's it for this week guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.